back to my channel. My name is Sin. Today I wanted to talk about Megan Thee Stallion's new documentary that just premiered on Amazon Prime. Megan Thee Stallion, in her own words. For those who know me, I am a huge Megan Thee Stallion fan. I've been following her since like 2018. I remember I was like at the gym and it just came up one day, one of her songs, like Cocky as Fuck. That literally for me changed my life. I was like, okay. I've loved her for such a long time. Every time she drops an album, I'm here for it. I listen to the entire thing. But it's no secret, I love this woman.
I have done nothing wrong ever in my life.
I know this. And I love you.
She is literally a big inspiration for me. I find a lot of confidence in listening to her music. Every time I feel down and I just want to feel like a bad bitch and I can do anything and I want to feel inspired and motivated, I put on Megan Thee Stallion. And I've known that she's gone through some hardships in her life. She's experienced like a lot of loss. And this new documentary really put it into perspective. And I feel like she kind of gave all of her fans like a little peek into her personal life. And she didn't have to do this, but it takes a lot of courage and you know I commend her for that. It takes so much to be this honest and authentic and show up this way. Good for her. The documentary basically it follows her rise to stardom, navigating fame, grief, and success. So many things I love about this documentary. The like straight to camera vlogging style that it has at times, the interview style that it has at other times where like the producer themselves ask her questions. And I love that it incorporates all the facets of Megan Thee Stallion. Her love for anime, so it has some animation in it. It has like this really cool like the graphics, the timeline, and the pink font because she is like a girly girl. It has her music. I love listening to all her music, the entire journey from like her humble beginnings with her mother and like Cocky as Fuck and like that kind of EP to her latest song and her performances and interviews and all that stuff. So cinematography wise, it's perfect. I love the incorporation of her in this film. But it starts with the birth of Megan Thee Stallion. Not so much Megan Pete, but the artist that we've come to know and the persona that is Megan Thee Stallion. And she credits her mother for being one of the people that inspires her, that she watched growing up, that really kind of molded her, led her to become the woman she is today. As someone who has more of a complicated relationship with their mother, I also love my mother. And watching this documentary made me so emotional because at times I would watch it and I would think to myself like, that's what I want. I would love to have someone in my corner bat for me that hard. And I can only understand how much she suffered and the significance of her loss when her mother passed away tragically. I can understand why she spiraled out. But yeah, we see her, she was like performing in bars and small clubs, just hustling and working and having someone in your corner that, you know, advocates for you that hard. It only made sense for her to accumulate the level of fame and success that she did. Plus, she's never been shy about the stuff she raps about. Being a rapper, you rap about like having confidence and like when I walk into a room, people look at me and like I can get any guy I want and I do what I want. Like they're anthems. I feel like rap music is like little personal anthem. And for her to do it in a way that's very similar to the way guys rap, but for a woman to be rapping from like her perspective and like her taking charge of her life, like that is not revolutionary because other women before her have done it. Like Missy Elliott has done it, Nicki Minaj has done it. So like it's not like a completely new phenomenon, but her style and the way that she shows up and her own personality, it gave it a new life to a new generation of women, which I love. As she's kind of gaining this success, her mother dies so unexpectedly.
It was a tumor in her brain. We was just like, damn, like, how long this been going on? Like,
so she's found herself in this new point of time in her life and this newfound fame and success and money, and she's like in the spotlight, and she's not in the spotlight with the one person she knows she can like count on and will keep her headed in the right direction.
I envisioned it being like the dream team. Rest in peace, Miss Holly. We miss you. I can't believe it's about to be a fucking year.
And she's very honest about her substance abuse with alcohol and how after her mother died, she was just constantly drinking. And I will say this, I was in my early 20s when I would watch her on Instagram, and you just want to party. And it seems like so normal. Like everyone my age is just partying all the time. Like every weekend we're just drinking. So I remember being on Instagram in real time, watching Meg like on live and like on Instagram. I never saw her without a bottle of Henny in her hand. And like her tagline was like, let me drive the boat. She was lit. I didn't know that part of the drinking was definitely to numb out the pain and the pain from having lost her mother. And so it definitely makes sense. Looking back at the documentary, I'm like, oh my God, she definitely had a problem. She had a drinking problem, because it's not normal to post on Instagram every single day of your life with like a bottle of Hennessy in your hand or something. I know that now. Like now looking back, I'm like, oh, okay, those are telltale signs that someone is struggling with alcohol and they're forming like a dependency on it. But it's hard to check someone who's developing a dependency on alcohol, especially a famous person, because I know the trap a lot of people around famous people fall into is they become yes men. It didn't help that no one was like telling her no. And like the one person that would probably tell her like, hey, put the bottle down, you gotta like record, would be her mom, because that person just isn't there anymore.
I was so used to my mama telling me what to do. And when life started getting crazy, I didn't have her.
She says that that's what happened to her. That was hard to see. And I love that she was honest about that. And she gets into the shooting.
It's so many police, it's fucking helicopters. And I'm fucking shook because George Floyd had just died. Like the climate with the police right now.
She'd already received some hate because some people are inherently misogynistic, men and women, and they don't like women talking about their bodies and showing up the way that she does and wearing revealing clothing and being confident. Because I know the narrative that, you know, we're told is women like that, they don't respect themselves, they deserve the bad things that happen to them, because if you respect yourself and you're an honorable woman, you cover up, you're not promiscuous, and only those people and those women are deserving of respect and protection. And so
when you're a woman that embraces sexuality, people feel like, why do you matter? You're a fucking slut anyway. And I feel like that's why it was so easy for people to dismiss the fact that I was assaulted.
She's probably heard that growing up her whole life, but it was always buffered by like the strong women in her life that always fed love into her. And when her mother died and kind of lost that buffer from the hate, it kind of got to her. And then the shooting occurs, and that's a whole different wave of like hate that was just constantly bombarding her.
I see so many guys online say, you should have got shot in the head. Oh, you should have finished the job. You should have killed your ass. You always twerking, bitch. You deserve what you got.
I remember when it happened, and it was just like there was just like a lot of confusion around the whole thing. I think people forget this. It wasn't Megan Pete herself that pressed charges against Tory Lanez. It was the state of California.
The DA's office has charged Tory Lanez with shooting artist Megan Thee Stallion.
That's who pressed charges, not Megan Pete. It's actually very shocking to me that some people were saying that she deserved what happened to her. Also think about it this way. He shot at her. He shot at her feet, so she like survived. Had he shot her anywhere else, she probably would have died. And that in and of itself is so traumatic. And she talks about this, you know, everyone kind of moved on because for everyone else, it was just like another news story that they could turn on and off and like move on with their life. But this was actually a traumatic thing that happened to her.
I'm still anxious. I'm still having nightmares. I'm still just mentally messed up.
Like she lived through that. Someone pulled out a gun and almost killed her. And she was just supposed to go on like SNL and do interviews and perform like nothing happened. That has to be psychologically like torturous. She even admits that it definitely hindered the way that she views herself and her own relationship with herself.
But the way like they have villainized me for being this type of person, it started to make me second guess myself.
Because prior to the shooting and her mother dying, she was very confident in herself. And that's so sad because there's no one right way to be in life and show up. Like if you feel the most comfortable in being modest, that's your prerogative. And if that's your most comfortable self, please keep doing that. And don't anyone tell you you can't. And if you're on the other side of that spectrum and you're just like, I want to wear bikinis to Walmart every day, you should be able to do that and feel safe. Like, there's no one way any one person has to show up in the world. And it's very sad that she lost her sense of self and she lost her confidence because so many people online were telling her that she didn't have a right to feel that way about herself. It made me so emotional. Watching this whole documentary made me so emotional when she would like talk and almost cry. Like, I was crying. I was watching this documentary and crying because I really felt for her. And no one should be made to feel that way about themselves. It really affected her, and she had to take a mental health break and cancel all her shows. And like, she said she went to therapy and she had to like process the trauma of being shot. And like, finally I know she stopped drinking and like had to like process and deal with the grief of losing her mother. And she's very honest about the fact that although she never got to a place where she was thinking of committing suicide, she definitely, if she felt like if she continued to stay in bed, if she continued to feel this bad, she could very, very much well have gotten there.
I thought I was about to die before I left to go to therapy. Like, 3 days I did not get out the bed, and I just stayed under the covers and I cried every day.
And I'm very glad that she was able to take a step back and get the help she needed, was able to come out the other side of this stronger as a person. And something I love about what she said with her testimony, she's felt like she's had to be strong or pretend to be strong her whole life. Even going into this court that day to give her testimony, she felt like she had to be strong to like be an advocate for women who don't have the resources. She showed up not so much for Megan Pete, but she showed up more so for other women who are probably going through something similar or see themselves in her that don't have the resources or like the lawyers to get the justice they deserve. Like, if they're watching her case and they feel like, oh my God, here's this amazing, successful, beautiful superstar, and if she's not protected and if people don't get justice for her, what does that say about me? And will I receive justice? And so she really did it for them, and she realized she doesn't have to pretend to be strong and pretend that this doesn't affect her the way that it does. And she was just very honest and candid and open about the fact that she has nightmares and that she's anxious.
It wasn't just what she said happened, it's how she said it. She was really emotional in court today.
Outside the courthouse, fans rallied to show their support.
And I was really proud of her that she was able to kind of get there. I know some people are saying like, why? And I don't understand why that's the focus. People are saying, why did you lie about having a sexual relationship with Tory Lanez? She admits that, like, she feels that would be hard to admit, you know?
He was my fucking friend, and I feel so dumb because it must have been some signs that could have been showing me this whole time. I should have saw something to knew not to fucking trust you.
And the shoulds, I understand where she's coming from. If you had done anything differently, the outcome would be different. But that's just not the truth. Coming to terms with the reality that someone that you trusted hurt you, that's gotta hurt, regardless of the nature of their relationship, whether it did turn sexual at some point or not. Like, here's this person that you're spending time with and you're getting to know and love, and they hurt you. That level of pain and betrayal must be otherworldly. And I can only imagine dealing with those emotions in and of itself, but also other people dogpiling on top of that emotion that you deserve what happened to you. That's actually insane. I'm telling you right now, I don't know if I would be as strong as Megan Thee Stallion. So I really do commend her. I really do. I really am happy that she was able to get better. And she admits to this in the documentary after he was charged and he was sentenced. She thought she was magically made to feel better, but that just wasn't the case. Like, she still has to wake up every day and live with that, because the anxiety doesn't magically go away because he's behind bars now. And so she admits that she's not at exactly 100%.
For the first time since my mama was alive, I'm taking care of myself because I want to feel good. And I don't feel like I'm operating at 1,000,000% now, but I definitely feel like I'm operating better.
And she definitely feels like she's in a much better place. And I'm so happy for her. I'm excited for her because she's excited for herself, and she's taking the right steps in the right direction to be in a better place. I just wish people saw that too. She didn't have to make this documentary. She didn't have to let us into her life, and she extended that courtesy, and I really commend her for it. And I'm super excited for her. I'm excited for her new music and her new tour. I know life won't be the same without her mother and without her friends, but she's gonna be okay. Like, the kids are gonna be okay. And I know maybe she'll never watch this, she'll never see this. I can only imagine how lonely like fame must be, but I want her to know that I feel for her. I'm proud of her. I love the music she makes. It makes me feel empowered, and watching her be herself, dress the way she dresses, sing about the things she sings, be honest and authentic and show up really does give me a lot of confidence too. I don't know if I would be this person doing this without Megan Thee Stallion, for sure. She has very much been such a pivotal figure in my own kind of confidence when it comes to my career in like filmmaking and this channel. She started off her career on YouTube. She posted a video on YouTube of herself rapping in like her college dorm and showed it to her mom, and like the rest is literally history. So I can say with my whole chest that Megan Thee Stallion has definitely inspired me to be the woman I am today, to show up authentically as myself and just go for what I want in life. She definitely does give me confidence and motivation and inspiration to go after what I want. And you know, I want to say thank you. I know a lot of misogynists don't think that she's someone that's worthy of protection and love, but I do. I think so. She's beautiful. She's kind. She just, all she wants to do is make good music and have a good time and spread positivity and joy and help others. And I don't understand why she gets the amount of hate she does just because she likes to twerk. Like, what the fuck? You don't like seeing Megan twerk? I'm not gonna get into that. If you haven't watched this documentary, please watch it. It's so good, and it's a very personal documentary that I feel like we aren't deserving of, but I'm really glad that she did do this for us. As always, thank you so much for watching. Oh, also, the director is a woman. That's why I'm talking about it. It's for the hot girls. This movie is for hot girls. It's for hot girls, made by hot girls. Let me know what your thoughts are on this documentary. I'd love to know. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time.